Breaking news, everybody. Joe Biden is being urged by lawmakers and economists to resolve rising inflation as quickly as possible. And guaranteed income programs are beginning in many states and cities. That comes as millions of Americans are struggling to make ends meet. Welcome back to your fourth stimulus check update, and this is the latest news that you have to know. So far, Biden tried to put a positive spin on soaring inflation.
First, your colleague, Joe Manchin, just explicitly told me repeatedly he will not support your $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. He wants to see something more in the ballpark of $1.5 trillion. Is that acceptable to you?
Economic disaster that befell us as a result of COVID. I believe we're going to all sit down and work together and come up with a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, which deals with the enormously unmet needs of working families. You know, we've got to lower the cost of prescription drugs for people. We've got to expand Medicare to include dental, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. We have to maintain the $300 direct payment we're giving to working parents, which have lowered childhood poverty in America by 50%. And I'll tell you what else we have got to do. The scientists will tell us that we got a few years left before there will be irreversible harm to our planet if we do not address climate change. And the truth of the matter is, Dana, as you may know, many of us made a major compromise in going from the $6 trillion bill that we wanted, supported by the overwhelming majority of Democrats, down to 3.5. Mm-hmm. And the last point that I would make on this, I know that Senator Manchin worked very hard on what's called the bipartisan infrastructure bill, $550 billion of new money to rebuild our roads and our bridges. What we have worked on is working both of those bills in tandem. They go together. And it would be a really sad state of affairs for the American people, for Congress, if both of those bills went down.
Do you think that's possible, that could happen right now?
Yeah. I don't think it will happen. I mean, I think, look, this is a very difficult issue. What we are trying to do in this bill is more significant for working families than any bill probably since FDR and the New Deal. I mean, we're talking about expanding Medicare. We're talking about making sure that no working family in America pays more than 7% of their income for childcare, making pre-K universal and free, putting a huge amount of money into affordable housing, creating millions of good-paying jobs, home health care, you name it. This is a consequential bill. It is hard to put a bill like this together. At the end of the day, I believe we will.
Okay, and I want to ask you about more of the substance in a second, but the other thing that Senator Manchin is opposed to is the timeline. Chuck Schumer wants to have a draft of this reconciliation bill done by Wednesday. The House Speaker committed to holding a vote by September 27th. He said that's not going to happen, full stop. Are you willing to give it more time?
Yeah, I mean, a few days here or there, it doesn't matter. But there is a sense of urgency. And the sense of urgency is that we live in a country today with the wealthiest people and the largest
saying that disposable income has increased due to government aid, but not mentioning that wages are actually losing purchasing power due to spiking prices. Biden actually told reporters after years of wages being flat or falling behind. We're also seeing something else. Things are getting better for Americans with higher wages and better benefits, and flexible schedules. Biden also said America is the only major economy and the only one in the world that is getting bigger today, and families have more money in the bank than ever before. Is President Biden correct, everybody? And do you support President Biden and think he's doing a good job on the fourth stimulus? Tell me in the comments below. So according to multiple sources, the value of money earned by workers, without including government subsidies, is down this year, due to the highest inflation in 31 years. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said earlier this month that although wages are increasing, they aren't rising fast enough. Inflation took an even bigger bite out of wages when measured over a 12-month period. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index jumped 6.2% in October from a year earlier. That's erasing wage gains and reflecting the highest bump since 1990. Biden was also able to argue that real disposable income is up due to subsidies included in a $1.9 trillion bill. The bill also boosted the child tax credit and was formerly $2,000, but now $3,600 for kids up to 6 years old. Have you received a child tax credit, folks? Tell me in the comments below. Atlanta may soon find out how a monthly $800 check can affect people's lives. as it tests out 2 guaranteed income pilot programs, including one of the largest such tests of the program in the South. The initiative is led by the City Council members, and it's at the tail end of fundraising cash from local and national donors. It's scheduled to start its work next year. Cash to Everyone, which gives cash to everyone. Guaranteed Income program focuses on specific groups of people. And the largest guaranteed income pilot program in the country was approved by the Los Angeles City Council. It recently expanded the city's initial $6 million investment to nearly $40 million. And the pilot program will give $1,000 in direct cash payments to families each month for 12 months. The no strings attached payments will be given to families who were impacted by the crisis and are living in poverty. And the LA County Board of Supervisors approved a similar earlier this year. The similar program launched a pilot guaranteed income program that would pay $1,000 a month to about 1,000 residents for at least 3 years. About $27.4 million was also approved for the program citywide. The council also approved nearly $4 million for research and design services related to the pilot program. Chicago has also approved a guaranteed basic income program for some of its poorest residents. The idea of basic income has been around for a while, but the crisis brought a lot of new attention, and the mayor told reporters having extra income can definitely help people around the country and around the city of Chicago. Have you received stimulus assistance from your state or city government, folks? Tell me in the comments below. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your amazing support. Until next time, have a great day.
Continuing resolution that will eliminate the possibility of a government shutdown tonight. The CR we're voting on will keep the government funded until December 3rd, provide funding to help process and resettle Afghan refugees, and finally deliver on critical disaster aid for Americans battered by the storms and wildfires this summer. As part of today's agreement, we'll hold a vote series starting at 10:30 this morning on 3 amendments offered by Senators Cotton, Marshall, and Braun. We will hold a vote on final passage soon thereafter, and I'm confident the House will approve this measure later this afternoon and send it to the President's desk before funding runs out. This is a good outcome, one I'm happy we are getting done. With so many things to take care of here in Washington, the last thing the American people need is for the government to grind to a halt. But of course, we have more work to do. Just as our Republican colleagues realize that a government shutdown would be catastrophic, they should realize that a default on the national debt would be even worse. I will have more to say on this later. Now on nominations. Now, despite a week marked by Republican obstruction, the Senate is making great progress on our responsibility to confirm President Biden's nominees to his administration. Last week, a handful of members made a scene here on the Senate floor in a doomed effort to stymie a number of nominees critical